This sucks. This really sucks. So, Chase Brown, yeah, he has a hamstring injury. He got hurt yesterday, and he's week to week at this moment in time. He's going to be out for some time. And it sucks too because yesterday we heard some news that, Chase Brown was about to get a bigger role in this offense. Throughout the whole entire year so far, he's been getting like 1, 2 snaps a game. Last week he had a career high of 4 snaps, and it was like, oh, this guy's actually getting some more snaps. We're running under center more, and it was, there we go. He's processing amazingly. He's looking amazing in process. So he's going to get more snaps, and he's actually going to start splitting time with Joe Mixon. And we're going to have a 2-back system, kind of like we had with Samaje Perine, and the sky was the limit. And then the ugly thing about football happens. He got injured, and he has a hamstring injury. Now, again, he is week to week at this moment in time. He is out for this Sunday's game versus the 49ers. And it just sucks because it's like, we're right there. We had a weapon that could potentially be good. Because, again, he was a 5th-round draft pick, but still, he has the speed, he has the catching, he has the blocking. Like, there's so many positives, and then injury. Now, this has sparked up more and more conversation around the idea of, listen, Samaje Perine. Denver right now is not a good spot, okay? Samaje is not getting the carries he was promised in Denver. So, the more this happens, the trade deadline is Tuesday by 4 p.m. So, there's going to be more and more talks about potentially trading for Samaje Perine. The Bengals do not do that. The Bengals do not make midseason trades. I know that you might say, well, maybe they could break that tradition, break that. They're not going to. Because they have faith in Chris Evans and they have faith in Travion Williams. That's pretty much that. They're not going to go out there and try to get Samaje Perine, even though it's the same exact contract that they offered him, because he literally took it with Denver because Sean Payton promised him he would get more carries in a 2-back system. That was a lie. It would work out for everybody, but at the same time, the reason why he also went to Denver was he can get closer to his family. So I don't think he's really going to be amped to try to come back here. Now, he doesn't have a no trade clause in his contract, but there's no reason, right? It's not going to happen. So what that means is we're going to have to start seeing a lot more production out of Travion Williams and Chris Evans. Because if we're not going to trade for any other running back, and no, we're not going to trade for Derrick Henry before somebody asks, we're not doing it. I'm telling you right now, there was a 0% chance we trade for Derrick Henry. Out of all the running backs in the league, like, who could be traded for, he might be the last guy we trade for. I just don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to just kind of sit here and say, we have Joe Mixon, we have faith in him as our starter, we have faith as a rotation between Chris Evans and Travion Williams. Because keep in mind, going into the season, it was very potential that they could have, a little possibility, they could have cut Travion Williams on the 53-man roster and kept somebody else. But instead of cutting him, they kept him. Even though he was injured throughout preseason, they had faith that he could come back and be a very productive player for this team. And so far, he's gotten the most carries and the most snaps in that backfield other than Joe Mixon. So it's very clear that they have a lot of faith in Travion Williams. So, again, that's more reasons why they're not going to go out there and try to get Samaje Perine. Would I love for them to do that? Yes, obviously. I love Samaje. But it would have to be a situation where he agrees to it, we agree to it, and, Denver, I don't really think cares at this point. They're okay probably with trading anything because they're kind of in the crapper of the season. But it's not going to happen. And there's going to be so many different talking points about this, like, right here, as the trade deadline, fastly approaches, there's more pressure on the Bengals to either sign or trade for another running back. But they're not going to trade for somebody. So let's go with option 2, right? Okay, what's option 2? Option 2 is sign somebody. Who's available in free agency? Survey says, I'm going to pull it over in 1 second. Let me just set this up correctly. Okay. This website is kind of glitchy. And even if, again, you got to keep in mind, based on who's available, it's also based on money. Like, we're not signing someone for a long-term, situation here. if he's week to week, which he is, Chase Brown, he's not going on IR. He's going to be back within the next probably 2 or 3 weeks. We're looking at someone for a very short-term situation. Maybe a couple weeks and you're done. And not many players, free agency, especially veteran-type guys, they don't want that. They want some type of, longevity. And you can see going down this list here, all these running backs, except for Deion Jackson here, all these other guys are just, old running backs. And I don't think they're going to be okay with coming to the team, play 4 or 5 games with us, risk injuring themselves, get paid little to no money when they're 34, 35 years old, and then again, get cut and they're going. Because whoever we pick up, we're not picking up for a long time. Whoever we're picking up for a short term. Because Chase Brown, not Chris Brown. Chase Brown is our future, right? And that's the guy that they drafted and they have faith in, and they have faith in Travion Williams and Chris Evans. So there's a lot of different, can of worms there, I will say. But anyway, though, there's no one here I really would pick up, in all honesty. I don't think anyone here, James Robinson maybe, but then again, James Robinson, he's going to cost money to pick up. It's not going to be worth it. Playoff Lenny, going to cost money. J.D. McKissick, maybe. He's a nice receiving back you could go with here. Ty Johnson. I feel like if they do pick up somebody, could they truly want to pick somebody up and they don't have faith in the guys we have, which really would surprise me, they would pick up some XFL, no name, guy out of college that went undrafted and nobody knows about him, and they would pick him up to add him to the roster. That's my true opinion on that. I don't think they're going to pick up somebody who, is a big name player or someone who has any type of, value to him that, he's going to want certain money. Because, again, that's not what they're looking for. If they get an undrafted player, an XFL running back, to just sub in there, to see what could happen, maybe someone practice squad, they can just say, okay, you're elevated to the roster, awesome, you served your purpose, Chase Brown is back, go back to the, free agency, and that's it, right? That's kind of what they're going to look for. But I think truly, again, like I said, I think they're truly just going to go with the guys they have and focus on the guys they have. Because I don't think they're going to try to go out there and get somebody else and, put all that money out there for no real reason, right? So far, as many people said, and it's true, that we haven't really used Chase Brown anyway. And it has been a lot of the reasons why is because he hasn't looked that good when he has been in there in the small sample sizes. And on practice, he hasn't looked that great. Now he's looking a lot better. Finally, it looked like he had a chance, and then he gets injured. So, it is what it is, guys. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.